Hey Patriots, this is Scott with Sanctuary Select Services, and I am coming at you today from a beautiful location in California, down in the Arroyo Seco Valley, surrounded by a lot of trees and a lot of beautiful cliffs, and there's a nice little breeze today. It's nice. So again, this is the response to the question of the week for this week. Uh, I always appreciate the comments. Your comments make this whole thing a lot more fun and entertaining for everybody in the audience. So please remember to, when I do those questions a week, to provide your answers or your thoughts. It's really more about thoughts than answers. All right, so what was the question of the week that we're going to answer today? If your firearm became inaccessible during an encounter because of positioning, injury, or physical struggle, what other skills or mindset would determine whether you could still survive the situation? All right, so Alan Kruth, thanks again, Al. I know you're out there for me. Um, in summary of what his response was whatever it takes to survive and go home. Right? It's going to be if it's going to be me or you, it's going to be me. All right. Al always writes really well. It's very entertaining. So go to the question of the week for this week and kind of read through Al's response. Uh, I just love the way he words them. Thanks, Al. You keep up the good work, my friend. Another question that was asked, which I'm going to do a completely separate video on, uh, has to deal with what if you've got a felony? What are your options then? So the actual question from Duke B was, what are my thoughts on Second Amendment and people that have felonies and can't have firearms in the great state or the Republic of Iowa, as he said it. So another great question. But I'm going to do a complete separate video covering both federal and state statutes, um, what it looks like, the different types of felonies that exist out there, what felonies you may have that you can petition for your rights after so much time has gone by, and then the felonies that exist that I'm sorry, but you're never going to be able to get a gun again. So there's those two perspectives, right? So my position on on if your firearm is inaccessible is have a skill set, right? If something happened where I got surprised and my situational awareness failed me and I can't get to a firearm, remember, a firearm is just a tool. It's an equalizer. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win whatever altercation you might find yourself in, right? Remember, what I always say is the only fight you win is the one you're not in. Right, so we want our situational awareness to do its job and keep us out of these situations. But if something happens and we end up there and we can't get to that firearm to use it to defend ourselves, right? Then what are you going to do to defend yourself? What are you going to do to fight to get distance, to get to that firearm, to actually get out of that situation and go home and survive, uh, to see your family and to continue living your life? So martial arts is a great tool. You don't have to go become a black belt. You don't have to become an expert. What you do need to do is have enough skills to fight out of a situation, whatever that situation might be. Maybe you're going to choke the person out so they go take a nap so that you can get away. All right. Maybe it's going to be fighting to get to the point where the other person decides they don't want this and they're going to leave. Right. Fights in reality are not like MMA or what you're going to do in other places. Right. Somebody jumps you on the street, there are no rules, right? You need to survive. What are you going to do, right? There are a number of different tools out there that you can carry in addition to a firearm, right? So pepper sprays, uh, little old striking tools, we call them kubatons in the martial arts world. There's a lot of different options. Car keys, right? Whatever you might have that you can use as a tool to defend yourself, it's all fair game. Right? So it's kind of up to your imagination of what you think you can use to defend yourself to survive a situation like that. Right? Remember, firearms are just another tool. They may not even be the tool that gets you out. Right? What you don't want to do is end up pulling the firearm and let the other person get hold of it and use it against you. Right? So that's a very real concern too. So I want everybody out here to understand that firearms are tools. I advocate for firearms. I advocate for good training to carry and use a firearm, but that doesn't mean that my advocacy goes to that's what you go to first, right? So always keep that in mind. There's other options that we might be able to exercise. Gun is the last resort, but it is a resort. All right, again, love you guys out there. Like, share, comment. Comments are huge. I really need more comments. And hit that subscribe button if there is one. All right. Look forward in the future to the felony conversation, where I'm going to answer in more detail about what the options are if you aren't in a position to have a firearm. Right. Duke, to provide a specific answer to your question, is my opinion is, as the Second Amendment exists, we as Americans have the right to bear arms. However, that doesn't mean that everybody should be able to bear arms. You've got people that are violent. You've got people that have mental disabilities. Right? There are some things out there that exist that make me take the position that just because we can doesn't mean we should. So, but that's very nuanced, and there's a lot of facets to that. So it's not really a cut and dry cookie cutter answer, which is why I'm going to do that whole separate video. Again, like, share, subscribe, and please comment. Comments are huge. Al, Duke, thanks for your comments. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Take care. God bless. I love you guys.